Don't park your spirit. Find the path beyond harmony.
We are so powerful as beings. Nothing can tell you your path except for you. Once you start on this path, you can't turn around. Don't park your spirit there. You did it. You chose it. That's what you wanted. Because every choice you make affects your life. If you believe it, things are going to work for you because they parked their spirit. Wherever you go, there you are.
Hi there, I'm back with my great friends, Jen Giudice and Connie Lanigan, and we're going to pick up here part 2 because we just have so much to say. So Jen, I know you are doing something coming up after the first of the year that I actually find fascinating, and I would actually find joy in it. A lot of people I've shared what you're going to be doing, and they're like, oh my God, is she out of her mind? I'm like, no, she's going to have the best experience ever. Do you want to share what you're going to be doing?
First of all, you're the only person, Carrie, that was remotely interested and like legitimately interested in doing something like that.
Okay. What are you doing?
99.99% of people are like, what?
Okay. Well, yeah. I
So
mean, I'm like,
that.
oh, I would do this in a heartbeat. But anyway,
I just love your support. Yeah. So I'm doing a dark retreat, which means that I will be in an underground room with no light whatsoever. So it's light deprivation, sensory deprivation. And this is the crazy part is I'm doing it for 40 days.
Look at Connie's face.
Wait.
40.
24/7 for 40 days?
Yes.
Connie, when you don't have light deprivation, they don't give you like a nightlight for 2 hours a day. You don't, I mean, and I can imagine because, you know, when you know somebody who's blind, somebody who's deaf.
That's what you do to drive people insane.
Well,
that's like part of torture.
Not us. We'd be doing it just to open up other senses. I mean, I told Jen, I'm like, when you're doing it, I fully expect her to visit me here. And I'm like, come and visit me in Washington and you're in Guatemala. Is that where you're going?
Mm-hmm. I want you to come visit me, Carrie.
Oh my God.
Okay. And what does your husband say about this?
I don't have a husband.
Oh, that's why she could do it.
Yeah. Well, she's got children, but she's making sure everything's worked out.
I have 2 girls and they are my like strength.
And they know what you're doing?
They do, yeah.
How did you even hear of such a place?
Well, I heard that people were basically going on a date, like a restaurant, and it's completely black. And so the waiters wear these night vision goggles and they have to like feel around for like their wine glass and they're like fork. They eat in the dark. So I heard about it and I was like, oh my God, I wonder if they have dark retreats, because that sounds awesome. And I Googled it right away and I started looking into it and I found that they had Thailand, they have a couple places in Europe, and then Guatemala, and then India, right? India is 3 months and they only feed you milk for 90 days. But Guatemala just like called to me, and they have 2 rooms there underground. And one of them is a stone room and the other one is like an adobe room. And I booked it. Like, I was just like, I have to do this. And then Guatemala shut down and their borders shut down because of COVID. And so I had to wait. And now I'm finally going. January 7th is when I fly out, but I enter the dark at 5 p.m. at night on 1/11/22. So the
right on.
Big number.
Right on. What a date.
I know.
And then they bring you food. I mean, you're going to be brought food and everything. So you'll have everything you need delivered in the dark, and you'll be sticking your sandwich in your ear. And
yeah.
And are you doing stone or adobe?
I'm doing stone room. And I leave on the 2/20/22. So all 2s. And that's how I know that, like, because I'm really big into numbers, and for me to, it's just, I know that I'm being called to do this. Like, I feel like someone's like pushing me, like, this is what you got to do. And I'm just going in blind. It wasn't until a couple days ago that I started looking at YouTube videos of people that have done dark retreats just to see what they're saying and their experiences and everything. And I'm like, okay, every single review, they only did 10 days. Every single one. I'm like, what? And then one lady said, well, you know, I would start off with 1 day And then from there, go to 3 days or maybe 5 days, but just gradually work your way up. And I'm like, dude,
No,
no, not for me.
no,
But
yeah, I don't need to acclimate to go up that
I
mountain.
don't either.
No.
What do you do while you're there? What do you do?
Okay, so they feed you at 9 a.m. and 3 through a double blind door. So they open the door, put the food in, shut the door. And then you open your side of the door and get your food. And they'll deliver it in a Tupperware container with a spoon on top. So one of the guys said, all right, grab that spoon, put it in your pocket. Because if you drop that spoon,
You'll never find it.
A long time to find it. So I'm like trying to take, mental notes on everything, because these things, add up, and so there's a learning curve, but,
yeah, you'll drop the spoon once and then that'll be the last time you do it. Because you'll be like on the floor swimming, going, where's my spoon?
Yeah. But so I'm going to be meditating, trying to work out. They have water for a shower. So it's just your little tiny room, and you have a shower in the corner, a sink, and then a toilet, a compost toilet, and then a bed, and then like a little like yoga mat to meditate on. So there's not a lot to do except for meditate and like jog in place. But one of the reviews said it's really cold in this room, because like you think cave because it's stone. So it's like really cold, and then the water's cold. So like jog in place, like try to get really warm to like then strip your clothes off so you can hop in the shower, because otherwise it's like brutal.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to hear about how this goes for you. And you're going to do all 40 days. You're going to get so much out of this. You're going to be a different person when you come out of there.
What are you hoping?
Well, I'm not doing this, right? I'm being called to do this, but I know that when I'm in there, I'm going to communicate with some beings that have told me like, we need to talk, but like, you need to raise your vibration. And then I was led to do this. So I feel like when you're in the dark retreat, you start purging like all of this stuff.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you know what you're trying to purge? Because that's what came.
Sure, there's a lot of stuff.
when you were talking, I thought, oh, she has to purge something.
Oh yeah, everybody does. Everybody does.
But I didn't know if it was a secret. You like you don't know.
No. There's plenty of stuff that everybody endures in their life, and I'm like, bring it on, let's go, because I might not even know of all the stuff that I've dealt with. Like my brother says we had a difficult childhood. I'm like, no, we didn't. I love my childhood.
From his perspective, yeah, he saw something different lens than you thought through.
From my sister's perspective, it was rough, and I was in the middle. But I'm like, I love my childhood. Well, maybe I'm suppressing stuff that I am not aware of. I don't know.
So wow, so that is the driving force behind you doing this whole thing. Yeah. That is going to be so fast. You're going to be able to rewrite history when you come out of there.
I'm nervous, but I know that it's all good. Like
I
wouldn't be led to do something that's going to make me lose my mind.
No. Yeah. You are the messenger to change history. You get the information that nobody else had. My question is, how the hell are you going to journal in the dark? I mean, how are you going to not write over the same stuff and keep track of writing?
I have to bring in a recording device. I don't know. I mean,
get one of those old mini cassette player things.
Okay.
Because I'm sure you can find
if I'm like actually recording or not. Is it just automatically? And then
so it's like a tape there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You need to have that. So you could just like have it recording as you go even.
Yeah. But how do I know if I like accidentally rewind, then I record it?
That's just it. How do you do this? I mean, I honestly think you're going to be able to see. I mean, I think you're going to be able, but intuitively.
Jen, are you the one of Carrie's friends that are into aliens?
Yes.
He has some information about that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah, that's why it totally makes sense. I mean, because thousands and thousands of years ago, they were visited by star beings. They understood.
Right.
Well, yeah, oh, this is going to be so fun. I can't wait to hear.
Well, and another piece of the puzzle is that I was watching a YouTube video on the law of one. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the law of one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Sure.
So in the Law of One, they say that they visited like 3 different times. And one time they came down and actually incarnated and like walked the earth. Then they came and they just gave information to a couple people that heard their message. One of them was Akhenaten.
Mm-hmm.
Another one was somebody in Central America, but they don't give a name of that person. So when I heard that it was Akhenaten, that Law of One came to, it was like, oh my God, ding, 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 ding.
It's also where the crystals are buried, isn't it? With all of the knowledge of the world in those places.
Where?
I think so. In Central America, in Egypt, and supposedly, oh my gosh, I don't know. This is old info. I heard it so many years ago. And I think somewhere in North America, like crystals have the history in them of our, of everything about us.
Right.
Maybe you'll learn where crystal is, right?
Stored information.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that is going to be, now I'm so glad I got to know the whole story, because you're going to unfold so much while you're there.
You didn't think you were going to share that, did you?
No. In fact, Akhenaten told me, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody that I came to you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I have that. I have that effect. I've never even heard of anybody going into a darkness retreat. I hadn't heard. I heard
about the restaurant. I heard about the restaurant. And so
I have not.
That I was like,
I've heard of silence. I have a friend that did a 30-day silence, about killed her.
That just seems so much harder for whatever reason. But they say the Vipassana, the silent retreat, well, the dark retreat is like the Vipassana on crack. Like it's like way, way, way harder. But to me, I wouldn't be able to do a silent retreat.
well, that's one where you have the option to open your mouth and make a noise or not, but with your eyes and it's dark, you just can't see. You don't get a choice. Right. So at least with that one, you can't be tempted. You want to, but you can't.
Do people ever lose their mind?
I don't know.
Well, some left after 10 days. They probably thought they would.
They were never going to do 40 days.
Right. Yeah. That's what I heard.
They only ever wanted to do 10 days, and they're like blown away that they were able to do 10 days. So I'm like, wait, am I crazy here?
No, I'd be right there with you. I mean,
were you ever afraid of the dark growing up?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I want to overcome all that. Like, I feel like, Carrie, you're like super fearless.
Oh, I am now. I mean, what do we have to fear? We know we don't die. If you know you don't die, what can kill you? You know, it can. So yeah, I'm pretty much ready to launch and do absolutely anything at this point. I have no problem with that.
After the first few days, okay, the first few days you get pumped a lot of melatonin. I mean, like a lot of melatonin, because there's no light. So you just your pineal gland continues to secrete melatonin. So you sleep a lot the first few days. Once that wears off, then your pineal gland starts secreting pineazole, which they say you'll start seeing flashes of lights during this period, and you connect with your past lives and future lives and beings
simultaneously.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. And then that lasts for a couple days, maybe a few days. And then it switches over and your pineal gland secretes DMT, dimethyltryptamine, 5-MeO.
So this is like a way, what's that drug that people go down there to take?
Ayahuasca.
Oh, ayahuasca, yeah.
This is like ayahuasca without the ayahuasca.
It's like ayahuasca on crack.
Yeah.
Again, because, you know, ayahuasca, it lasts a few hours. This is going to be probably close to 37, 38 days of DMT. It's like it could be a beautiful trip, right? Like doing any drugs, it could be a beautiful trip and it could be a bad trip. And it all depends on your mind and your heart and where you are.
Have you ever done any heavy drugs?
I've done ayahuasca. I don't consider that a drug. That's a medicine.
Yeah. So Jen, when you come back, I definitely want to talk to you again and get I mean,
unveiling.
you're going to be a glowing, different human being when you come out of there. You're going to be so different. I mean, I could just see, because like what's happened to me here over the last, and it's 10 days now. I'm actually counting because I thought it was going to be temporary. It was like, there was this day when Jill, my friend Jill, who now has the open, channel, told me, she said she got guidance from me. That guidance was that I need to stop going 100 miles an hour while I'm here in Puyallup. I need to just be and be great with being. And here I've got this book to finish. I've got painting to do. I've got all these things that I would do. But my guidance has been literally, I stand and I stare at the wall and I am so freaking present. I could do it for hours with no desire to do anything. And I've been like this now for 10 days. And for the first 4 days, I didn't want food and I wasn't sleeping. It was like, there was no hunger and I was trying. I was like, but I need to eat. So I'd have like some peanut butter pretzels. And then by like day 3, I'm like, we can live without food. It's like, I'm like, just let guidance do. But I have been in this stillness that I didn't think was something you could even be. And I've been still for a couple of years, but I mean, to where I want to write, but I don't. So I don't. So it's like, this is the state you need to be in when you go to something like this. You need to just go and just be and allow and surrender and let all that's supposed to come through you and happen with you and for you and to you. It'll happen. You're going to be completely safe. You're going to walk out of there a changed human being, but that's going to be just an experience.
Well, so one of the reviews that I watched, he said that your brain, because it doesn't get any stimulus, you can't see anything, your brain or ego, whatever, will just create a room. So you think you're in a room that has walls. And this guy said that there were beams coming down like this on an angle. And from getting from the bed to the sink, he knew it was like 8 feet. And there was no beams or anything, but he had beams. So he would like duck to get around everything for days. And then he's like, what am I doing? I know there's no beams. And so he would practice just walking right through the beam. And then he would turn back and look, and it would just start reformatting again, the beam. It would like disappear and then it would come back until he said, no, it's not there. Like, and go like punch it over and over and over. And eventually it disappeared. And so it's like such a correlation to our lives. We are creating all this stuff that's not even real. And then we like have all these blocks and everything. And then that's where we live in this fake reality that we created with our brain. Yep. It's not real. So when you're in that state and you can actually see what your brain is creating that's not real, you can take that back into the real world and be like, no, I don't have any more blocks, no more barriers, like just be, right? Like you're saying. So
does your eyes ever adjust to the point where it could see its own light in the darkness?
Its own light?
Or light, whatever the light is.
So its own light. Yes, you're right. Your chakras will start activating and will be shining so bright in different colors that it's hard to fall asleep at night because it's so blinding, the light that we are. So yeah.
And you're going to be able to see that?
Oh yeah. I'll be able to start seeing an infrared by like the 5th or 6th day.
Okay, now that would be amazing.
I mean, your sixth sense really kicks on, and your sixth sense is like everything intuitive. You can see through like, heat signature, and it's like
so basically you're going to be able to experience the 5D world. Absolutely. Which we all could or should or whatever, but we don't.
Right.
Okay, then how do you do re-entry?
So you leave in the morning at 5 a.m. So you gradually see the sun come up.
That's smart. Really.
Is it hard on your head and your senses?
I think so, yeah. So another review, because that's all I've been doing lately is just reading and just trying to prepare myself. But she said she was doing it in her home. So she blocked out, or maybe she rented a Airbnb or something like that. Well, she had gone 7 days with no light whatsoever, but she wanted to turn like the air on. So she went over and started pushing buttons on the air control, but she didn't know if she was going up or down, or I don't know. She was confused. So she's like, okay, I have to make a decision. I'm going to take off my mindfold goggles, my eye mask, and just for a second, look to see what temperature I'm doing it. So she did that. And all she saw was like, it's like the little tiny little pin size. And it was the number 2. And she said it was just the smallest little bit of light, but it was excruciatingly painful for her. Her whole body was in pain.
Wow.
Like a very visceral effect on her whole body. And then this is so beautiful because she said, imagine what babies feel when they are in the womb for 9 months and then they come out and there's
illuminated light.
Doctors are stressed. People are stressed. They're rubbing the baby really hard and doing all this stuff. And there's blinding lights everywhere. I mean, just imagine what they go through.
That's our first torture right there.
We're just completely, it's like, how can we do this to little babies?
Yeah. I mean, like, do it in the dark. We don't even think about that stuff as human.
We don't even think about it.
Wow. I haven't thought about that at all. It's like, talk about shock.
Yeah. And then we like put a little needle in their foot and like pull their blood and do these tests and do that. And it's just like,
welcome to being human. We're going to hurt you. You're going to have so much crap happen to you. We just want to get y'all shaken up early on.
So much trauma. But if she hadn't had that experience, then she couldn't have had that huge revelation. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to go down, but I'm excited. We'll definitely debrief after.
Yes. I think I'm really looking forward to when you come back, me personally, because when I had my NDE with my son, I told my friends that what it was like is there's a sundial. And mind you, this was 31 years ago or whatever. I didn't have any personal thoughts on Middle Eastern philosophies, Einstein, nobody. I was such a pure person I'm so glad, because what I went through was just mine, not influenced by any thought, none. So I came back and saw it as a sundial with all of eternity. And at any point when you're there, you could get off at any part of that sundial and that time would be going on. And all those times were going on simultaneously. So I could get off here or here or here. And all those times were now. I had no language to explain that to anybody.
Yeah.
None. I couldn't explain it. And something tells me you're 40 days, something in that sundial. I don't know. I'm just curious. I could just kind of feel it.
So I loved it when you gave me that analogy a long time ago, Connie, because we all know this is a time and space reality, but beyond here, there is no time, there is no space. And just you painting that picture for me, it's like I can go to that sundial and realize this is all happening at the same time. It just feels like we're just living this moment only. But that just gave me a visual to play with that.
Well, and it really explains, the veil, that multiple dimensions could be going on simultaneously, right? Well, yeah, duh, because that sundial is here or there or everywhere. So there's just layers and layers and layers.
Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me. We'll definitely hear back from Jen after you come out from the dark. I can hardly wait to hear how that goes for you. But you guys, thank you so much for joining me. And I really enjoyed having this conversation.
Likewise.